Hello and welcome. Today our guest is Brайн Fallon. He's owner of the computing company called Blue Reven Computing Solutions. And Brайн is my friend and my former colleague. We worked together in pharmaceutical companies a few years ago. And Brайн worked in computing department while I worked in finance department.
That's correct. Yes, Elena, that's going back a few years now.
You're a very well-known professional in the area. How did you come to this career? What encouraged you to come to this career?
Okay.
I noticed when I worked in finance that IT professionals were among the highest paid professionals in the company. So was this the main motivation for you to join this career, or it was something else?
Okay, well, to answer that, Elena, I will have to take you right back to the 1980s. A great time, I'm sure you remember. And I started secondary school and was in secondary school during the late 80s and early 90s. And I had a wonderful maths teacher there, and I really loved maths. What I loved about maths was the problem solving and the logical aspect to stepping through a problem and finding a solution. And that same maths teacher delivered a computer class to us only once every 2 weeks, but that was the highlight of my school time. So I loved the computer classes, and we learned very basic programming, but again, how to step through and create a program and see how it worked. And really, as I say, really enjoyed doing that and figuring out how things worked and solving problems and creating solutions using computers. So that's what drew me to it. I'm afraid to say it wasn't the financial side of it. Back in those days, in the late 80s, early 90s, I don't think the finances were probably a little bit different than they are today. So that it was as I said, the love of technology and the love of figuring out how something works and how it can work.
That's great to hear. It means that young people who now are listening to our conversation could apply this to their own lives. So if they like something at school, it means that it could be their career, it could be something rewarding and something that they have to look at as their career path, isn't it?
Absolutely. I would agree wholeheartedly. And I volunteered with an organization in the last few years called Coder Dojo. I don't know if you've come across Coder Dojo, but okay. So it's an organization that I suppose basically you could call it computer clubs. So an organization that was set up initially actually by a Leaving Cert student at the time, who was playing around with his iPod and iPad and doing things that other kids wanted to know how he was doing. And so he set up this computer club and called it Coder Dojo. And then other people got involved and it started to expand. And it's now this massive worldwide organization which teaches or introduces children to programming and to web design and development and using technology. And really, I suppose the essence of it is that it gives children and younger people a way of creating technology and not just being consumers of technology, which a lot of us are, even adults. As you know yourself, we are consuming technology quite a bit, but it's a great opportunity for them to learn how to create things using technology. So definitely there is a great opportunity for younger people, school children and such, to get into technology now.
Yeah, great. And do you see any downsides of this career path? What you don't like in this career, or what could you say about some pitfalls or on the way?
Sure. Okay. Well, I suppose working with technology always has its challenges, as you've often discovered, I'm sure, Elena, on a Zoom call. Some things might not always work as they should, and so a certain amount of patience and resilience is required, to persevere with technology and to work through things, and maybe to keep going longer than you would think you could in order to find solutions. So that can be a challenge, and I think it takes a certain type of person to to be able to work through things to find that answer. Also, I think nowadays there are so many different technologies, and technology is changing so rapidly. It's hard even for technology professionals to keep up. So somebody starting out might want to think about what they would specialize in. And, rather than taking a general computer course, which I would have taken back in, in my college days, they might think about maybe perhaps specializing in the area of data. And I suppose I pick on data because it's said that 90% of the world's data has only been created in the last 3 years, which is a phenomenal statistic. And that's exponentially growing. So data is a huge area, and an area which really didn't, I suppose, roles that exist in data, such as data architect or data scientist, they didn't even exist 10 years ago. And now those are hugely in demand. So perhaps it would be an idea to find the area that interests you most and focus around that area.
But then, do you see some controversy in this approach? Because young people wouldn't know what they're interested in until they started. So most of the career guidance book advise you to start from generic skills. And
Sure.
you are saying that it's good to start from specializing from data. No, I completely agree with what you said.
Yeah.
Because data is growing and growing, and now
Absolutely.
there are no more IT department as a separate department. There are IT professional merging with finance professionals, IT professional merging with marketing professionals, and they're all dealing with data now. It's nothing separate anymore. So we all have to be IT professional in sort of ways.
True.
But how people can say, I want this without even trying what exactly they want to be, because it's vast amount of information and areas even in computing. I know data is one of the biggest one, but there are so many other things that they might try. So isn't it better to start from something generic and then move to,
It is a good question, and I suppose it is always advisable to have the basics or the underlying general knowledge of computing. But I suppose, again, going back to Coder Dojo, there is an opportunity for younger people to dabble in a few things in an area like Coder Dojo, and then gain some experience in each one, and maybe pick what they like from there. There are also, I would say, a mass of online resources, and something called Data Camp. I don't know if you've ever come across Data Camp. Is an online resource for budding data scientists to get an overview of what the data world is all about. And there are other ones which specialize in other areas. So there are, I think now there are a lot of resources which you can be looking at and getting an insight into the different areas long before you even go to college, which didn't exist back in my day, we'll say.
Yeah, I totally agree with this. So young people are advised to be more proactive and start developing their interests much younger or much earlier before they start of the college.
And I suppose if they can do that, I mean, it's like learning anything. It's like learning to drive. The earlier you do it, the easier it will come to you, and the more it will be second nature to you. So certainly I would advise, yeah, absolutely, at school age. And it's great that organizations such as the Coder Dojo and other organizations as well exist now to give people an introduction to this area.
And do you think there are good career prospects for future IT professionals? Say, what will happen with this profession in 10, 20 years? Will it still be as in demand, or it will move in some other directions? Maybe the peak of the IT success already passed. We are going downhill now?
No, I don't think so. as I was saying earlier, roles like data scientist and other roles like cloud architect, Android developer, iOS developer, those roles didn't exist 10 years ago, but they're hugely in demand now and will continue to be so. And those roles will evolve into other things, and things that we can't even imagine now will be in demand in 10 years' time. I suppose things like virtual reality, augmented reality, that whole area, and the growth of data and artificial intelligence. Those are the things that are up and coming. You look at things like self-drive automobiles, and the technology that's needed there. Those sorts of things, and other things that we can't even imagine or predict right now. But no, I don't think we're in any decline. Absolutely the opposite.
I know quite a few IT professionals who choose to be not employee, but have their own companies. Why do you think there is a benefit of being entrepreneur as opposed to employee?
I suppose the word that comes to mind is flexibility. And flexibility for both the self-employed individual and also for businesses. Large or even medium, small-sized businesses often have projects that they need people to fill roles on. They may be short-term, they may be longer-term, but self-employed contractors will easily fill these roles and be there for the duration. And on the self-employed person side, that leads them to flexibility about taking a project and taking on a contract when they want to or need to or can schedule it in, and then having some work-life balance and flexibility in their own lives. So I think that the self-employed route is attractive in that way. Often you'll find people like myself will start off as employees, and once they gain some experience and have a grounding in technology and perhaps have found their niche area, will then go off and become a contractor, become self-employed, work for themselves, and say enjoy the flexibility that can offer.
I completely agree. It's probably much more rewarding to be your own boss and to work at your own pace, and to know that this is your own brand, your own personal brand, your own professional brand, and you are much more in control of your destiny, even though employment seems to be or perceived to be more safe approach or more safer route. But at the same time, I think we're all moving towards this kind of economy where it will be individual providers, because companies are reluctant to employ for long-term and for permanent contract employees. It costs a lot, it's a big burden, it's very inflexible. So it's a kind of win-win situation for the companies.
Exactly, Helena, exactly. It is a win-win situation, as you say. It works for both the self-employed person and for the companies. And I think, as you said there, in being an employee used to be perceived as a safer route, but certainly in recent times, I don't know if permanency exists in the same way that it did. I think, and so that's true for both the companies and for the employees. Employees will tend to move around between companies more so than they used to in the past also. So definitely the self-employed route does allow for that flexibility. Of course, it's not without its challenges and without its stresses. So again, being somebody who can, be resilient and work through challenges is a good thing to have.
I'm talking about flexibility. I think this career path is perfect for people all around the world, because unlike accountancy or law profession or tax advisor, you're not attached to any particular rules or country settings. This is universal currency, isn't it? So
quite right.
if you learn this computer skill, say somewhere in Siberia, it will be as applicable to Irish conditions.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's one of the things that's one of the things that I do like about IT, and I suppose our Zoom call here illustrates the point perfectly. You know, we don't need to be in the same room to carry out this this discussion. And I don't need to be in the same room as the team that I work with in order to do my role as part of that team. So definitely, yeah. And of course, certainly within the last few months, remote working has become a huge feature for everyone globally. And yeah, IT lends itself perfectly to this as well.
It's a perfect match for the current situation.
Yeah.
And fantastic career path for people from all over around the world. So they
Absolutely.
can find jobs if it's remote everywhere and get salaries and conditions that they want.
Absolutely, yeah. I totally agree.
So what would you recommend young people who are willing to start this career path?
Well, I suppose as I've mentioned there, you know, organizations like Coder Dojo or other online facilities, you know, start researching. As you mentioned, you know, get the general overview of computing, figure out the basics, but certainly keep in mind that you know, there are lots of areas there in computing. Some of them will be of no interest to you, perhaps, but you'll find the one that clicks with you, for want of a better word. And yeah, so it's important to start as early as you can doing the research and looking at what's out there. But certainly, I would recommend it as a career. It can be challenging, but that's part of the fun, really, you know. So it's the opportunities are definitely out there, and they're everywhere. As we've said, they're global.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Brian. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your interesting stories and recommendations.
No worries. No
I'm
worries.
sure it will be very useful for everybody who's listening now. And I hope we will meet again.
Yes, yeah, thanks very much, Lena. It was lovely to talk to you again, and I'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much. Bye-bye now.